So unit 2, we have discussed about like what is a money market, what are the main participants, and what are the various types of the instrument which are being available for the money market, and why we require this money market. I mean, which financial requirements are being met by the money market. So today we will discuss about like what are the various types of, as I told you, what is the role of the central bank. So in the money market, if you can read out like the central bank, RBI has the main role which is being played in the money market. Okay, so that is the role which is being played by the money market. So we have discussed like the money market in the central bank. It is basically an independent monetary authority, okay, at national level that basically formulates your monetary policy, regulate bank and certain financial institutions. So the thing is, like, whenever we think of a money market, or you can say the RBI role is very crucial in that, because RBI is the one which is printing the notes, RBI is the one which is formulating your monetary policy. It is one which is being regulating like what will be the cash inflow in the market, okay, what will be the type of the inflows in the market, it whether it they want to liberalize it, whether they want to get it stricter with it. So that is the thing which lies with the RBI. So it is basically the RBI, how it can influence that. So basically RBI have various tools through which it conducts its dealing. So what are the various tools? The first one is the reserve ratio. So the reserve ratio, there are basically two types of the reserve ratio. So if we see that the monetary policy tools to achieve this objective, we can have a reserve ratio. Reserve ratio, it is basically cash reserve ratio or the statutory liquidity ratio. So what is the cash reserve ratio? It is basically the share of the bank's total deposit that is mandated by the RBI to be maintained with the latter as RBI in the form of cash. Okay. So the name itself describe itself, that is cash reserve ratio. So you have to maintain a certain portion of a cash with the RBI. Every bank is liable to do so. So it is basically, you can say, the regulation of the RBI. So if it wants to control the inflow of the money, so it basically changes this cash reserve ratio. How it will changes? See, if the cash reserve ratio, if a bank have RBI goes for the cash reserve ratio, that okay, let's increase it. So whenever this cash reserve ratio is being increased, what will it happen? That the banks are required to keep more money with the RBI, obviously. So the money with them will be less, obviously. सी, अगर उसको कैश रिजर्व रेशो बैंक को आरबीआई के पास वो लिमिट बढ़ा देता है कि अर्लियर इट वाज 2%, नाउ यू हैव टू मेंटेन अ 5% रेशो। सो द बैंक का जितना पैसा आरबीआई के पास रहेगा, तो ऑब्वियसली वो उसके पास ट्रेडिंग के लिए तो नहीं रहेगा। सो उसका क्या रहेगा, उससे क्या होगा, लिक्विडिटी क्या हो जाएगी इकोनॉमी की बेटा, लो हो जाएगी या नहीं हो जाएगी?
Yep.
बिकॉज वो पैसा जो आपको मिल सकता था एज अ लोन और यू कैन से फॉर ट्रेडिंग, दैट इज नॉट अवेलेबल विद द बैंक, दैट लाइज विद द आरबीआई। सो बैंक हैज लिमिटेड मनी विच इट कैन गिव टू द its, you can say, the basically the customers. Okay, so this is way how the bank regulate this. RBI कैसे regulate करता है मनी इनफ्लोस, वो मैंने आपको बताया। कैश रिजर्व रेशो को अगर वो बढ़ाएगा तो उसका क्या हो जाएगा, कैश रिजर्व रेशो उसने बढ़ा दी तो क्या हो गया, कैश का इनफ्लो जो है मार्केट में वो लिमिटेड हो गया। बिकॉज अभी ज्यादा से ज्यादा पैसा बैंक को अपने पास कहाँ पे रखना है, आरबीआई के पास। तो उसके पास वो मनी दैट इज देयर फॉर द इकोनॉमी विच इज अवेलेबल फॉर द लिक्विडिटी इज नॉट अवेलेबल नाउ। सो दिस इज द केस हाउ दिस सीआरआर रेशियो हैज basically, you can say, influence the liquidity of any economy. Then comes the SLR, that is the statutory liquidity ratio. So what is the, this is the minimum percentage of deposit that the commercial bank maintain in the form of like the things which can be readily converted into cash. So what is it? It can be gold, it can be cash, it can be securities. Okay, in cash reserve ratio it is only and only cash, but in statutory liquidity ratio it is cash and other securities. So the things which can be readily converted into the cash are taken into the consideration of the statutory liquidity ratio. So what is the statutory liquidity ratio? It is basically that portion of, you can say, the deposit which banks have to keep itself. Okay, जो बैंक को किसके पास रखना है? SLR कहाँ रखते हैं बेटा? SLR. See, there is a difference between a cash reserve ratio and a statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio, it is the amount which is being invested in all those things which can be converted into, you can say, the liquid asset. So this money, whenever you can say it is being under a regulation, is being maintained with the bank itself. It is not deposited with the RBI. This is always remember. जो statutory liquidity reserve होता है बेटा, वो बैंक के खुद के पास ही रहता है. जो cash reserve ratio होता है, वो उसको RBI के पास maintain करना होता है cash की form में. Okay, always remember this thing. So how the bank can now, you can say, influence the inflow of the money? Like whenever you can say the statutory liquidity ratio is being increased, so what will happen? Bank will have to keep more money in the liquid asset, and they will have less money to give you as a loan or credit. So that is why money supply will be reduced. ठीक है, अगर SLR भी बढ़ा देंगे तो क्या होगा? बैंक को ज्यादा से ज्यादा वो फंड्स अपने पास रखने पड़ेंगे in the form of the cash or the gold or any other security. So there will be less flow of money. That means that less money will be available in the market for giving you as a loan or advances, anything. Okay, so that is the statutory liquidity ratio. So with the help of these two, a money inflow in the economy is being regulated by the RBI. So what is the difference between cash reserve ratio and a liquidity statutory liquidity ratio? What is the difference between the two? दोनों में क्या difference है बेटा? Tell me what is the difference? एक cash reserve ratio है, एक statutory liquidity ratio है बेटा, उनमें क्या फर्क है दोनों में? Statutory liquidity ratio में अगर कैश रिजर्व रेशियो में देखो तो आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ क्या मेंटेन कर रहे हो? कैश मेंटेन कर रहे हो, ओनली एंड ओनली कैश. ठीक है, and whereas in statutory liquidity ratio you are investing your funds in the liquid asset. That means cash, securities, gold. So that is the statutory liquidity ratio. ठीक है, फर्स्ट डिफरेंस समझना है. इन्वेस्टमेंट उसमें सिर्फ कैश में होगा, इसमें कैसे होगा? लिक्विडेबल एसेट्स में होगा. सेकंड, जो कैश रिजर्व रेशियो होता है वो उसको कहाँ पे रखना पड़ता है? कैश रिजर्व रेशियो इट इज टू बी मेंटेन्ड विद द RBI ओनली, बट इन द केस ऑफ द स्टैट्यूटरी लिक्विडिटी रेशियो, दिस रेशियो इज, वो पोर्शन उसको बैंक को अपने पास ही रखना होता है, नॉट विद द RBI. ओके, इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And whenever, if you ask about the earnings, okay, so in cash reserve ratio, bank don't earn any return on money which is being, you can say, have been deposited with the central bank. Okay, but in statutory liquidity ratio, return is being invested, return is there. Why? Because अगर government securities वगैरह में आप invest करके रखोगे तो obviously उसमें बेटा आपको return तो आने ही वाला है. ठीक है. Now the RBI has two main tool. ओके, दो रेशियोस आपको बताई मैंने कैसे कंट्रोल करता है. अभी मैं आपको दो टूल्स बनाती हूँ. अभी एक होता है बेटा रेपो रेट एंड एक होता है बैंक रेट. सो व्हाट इज अ रेपो रेट? रेपो रेट, you can say, the rate at which banks can borrow short term money from the RBI. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके, सो RBI से वो पैसा लेने के लिए रेपो रेट यूज करते हैं. सो इट रेफर्स टू द रेट एट विच कमर्शियल बैंक्स बोरो मनी by selling their security to the central bank. So whatever securities they have in, they will sell it to the RBI and they will have that money which is being required by them. It is there. Why repo rate is there? क्योंकि कभी कभी कैसे रहता है, कैश रिक्वायरमेंट को मीट करने के लिए बैंक को अर्जेंट रिक्वायरमेंट रहती है, तो वो रेपो रेट से वो फंड्स जनरेट करता है. सो रेपो रेट्स इज बेसिकली, यू कैन से, it is helpful for the banks to maintain the liquidity, and in case there is shortage of funds, so it is the main tool which is being used. So whenever you can say you borrow money from the bank, the transaction interest on the principal interest. Okay, so what will happen? Like bank also borrow money from RBI during cash crunch. ठीक है, किस टाइम पे यूज करते हैं रेपो रेट को बेटा? हम जिस टाइम पे कैश क्रंच होता है, बैंक के पास उतनी लिक्विडिटी नहीं रहती, तो बैंक क्या करता है, जो सिक्योरिटीज उसके पास रहती हैं वो सेल कर देता है आरबीआई को, और वो कैश वहां से ले लेता है. सो दैट इज द रेपो रेट. And then is the reverse repo rate. What is the reverse repo? It is the rate at which central bank of a country borrows money from the commercial bank. ऑपोजिट हो गया, रेपो में बैंक ले रहा है आरबीआई से, बट रिवर्स रेपो में कौन ले रहा है बेटा? सेंट्रल बैंक ले रहा है, आरबीआई ले रहा है किससे? कमर्शियल बैंक से. तो दैट इज नोन एज द रिवर्स रेपो इन केस ऑफ दिस बैंक क्रेडिट. ओके, whenever there is an increase in the reverse repo, what will be there? There will be the decrease in the money supply. ठीक है, increase हुआ अगर रेपो रेट तो क्या होगा? आपके पास, बैंक के पास कम पैसा रहेगा, तो क्या हो जाएगा? मनी की सप्लाई कम हो जाएगी. ठीक है, so this is the way how these things influence the money supply in any economy. So what is next that is there is the bank rate. As what is the bank rate? It is a rate at which bank borrows long-term funds from RBI. ठीक है, बैंक जब भी लोन लेता है आरबीआई से, तो उसके लिए जो रेट रहता है that is known as the bank rate. So whenever there is a, you can say there is a rate is increased, what will happen? The cost of borrowing will increase. बैंक का लोन अगर उसने वहां से रेट बढ़ गया तो ऑब्वियसली उसको ज्यादा पे करना पड़ा, तो उससे क्या हो जाएगा? इट विल लीड व्हाट? इट विल लीड टू इंक्रीज इन द इंटरेस्ट रेट. बैंक वो कहां से रिकवर करेगा? आप लोगों से रिकवर करेगा. मनी सप्लाई क्या हो जाएगी? रिड्यूस हो जाएगी. तो बैंक के इंटरेस्ट रेट क्या हो जाएंगे? बढ़ जाएंगे. सो दैट इज हाउ द बैंक रेट इन्फ्लुएंस द डिसीजन ऑफ एनी इकोनॉमी. Then is the open market operation. Open market operation means buying and selling of the government securities in the open market. By whom? By RBI. So that is in the, why it is there? So that to control the volume of credit in the economy. That is known as the open market operation. So जब भी government securities को RBI open market में purchase and buy करता है, that is known as the open market operation. So why it is used? It is used to expand the credit. अभी क्रेडिट बढ़ जाएगा, आप गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज आरबीआई को दोगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? That will increase the money flow. Okay, so open market measure is used to control the credit. Okay, so this is the way how you can say a main bank, that is your central bank, control the operations of the money. Now what we have to see is we have to find out like what are the major reforms in the money market. There are various reforms that have taken place in the recent past, so you just need to have a insight of all those description, like what were the various reforms that were being there. So the first reform that was there was the deregulation of the interest rate. Like from May 89, the ceiling on the interest rate on the call money, or you can say interest bank short-term deposit, so that was removed, and the rates were determined, you can say, be determined by the market forces. Demand और supply के साथ अभी interest rate fix होता है. So the basically जो उसको regulate करने का वो था, वो भी खत्म हो गया. So there is no regulation. Okay, so there is a deregulation of the interest rate. Then come the second, that is introduction of new market instrument. It's like various new market instruments have come into consideration. What are the you can say the new market instrument deposit? Like certificates of deposit, commercial paper, they have come into existence. Treasury bills are there. So these are basically the new market instrument which are being introduced to increase the inflow of the money. So certificates of deposit, it was basically, you can say, introduced in the year 1889. Okay, so norms were being there. Then come the treasury bill. ठीक है, फिर आता है commercial paper. So we have already discussed like what is certificate of deposit, what is treasury bill, and what is commercial paper. So these comes under the heading of the, you can say, the new, whenever they ask you about the new market instrument, these are the new market instrument. Then come the repurchase agreement, or you can say the repos. So what is this? That RBI introduced repos in government security in 92 and reverse repo in 96. Okay, first repo was introduced, and after that the reverse repo was introduced. So what is repo? Repurchase agreement. Okay, and the reverse you know, the reverse repo also we just discussed right now. So they are being used to provide a short-term avenue to bank to park their surplus funds. Like whenever they have the surplus fund, they can use this with the help of the repos. So whenever you can say, as I told you, that the RBI control the inflow of the money with the help of the repo as well as the reverse repo. Okay. Then come the liquidity adjustment facility. What is this? It is being introduced in 2000, and it is basically adjusting the liquidity through repo and reverse repo. सो आरबीआई ने इसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए, पहले कैसे था, रेपो एंड रिवर्स रेपो था, अभी लिक्विडिटी एडजस्टमेंट फैसिलिटी एक रहता है, उससे वो कंट्रोल करते हैं, ठीक है, मनी मार्केट के लिए. Then come the money market mutual funds. So these are the money market mutual funds which are being come into existence in 92. So what was the main feature? Like they become like scheme for flexible and attractive. Whenever these are the mutual funds, so it means that you are parking your savings with something where you can get a productive interest. So the important features like what? It can be set up by commercial banks, private sector, anyone can set up this, and the individual investor, corporate and others can invest in. So even the you can say the whenever you have a small amount available with you, you can become a part of the money market mutual funds. Then the resources mobilized to whatever you have got the money from that, you can invest that money in the money market instrument like corporate commercial papers, CD, everything you can invest your money in that. And the minimum period for which it is being, you have to fix your money for that amount is like 15 days. So this is how the money market mutual fund is being introduced. Then come the Discount and Finance House of India. So whenever you to impart the liquidity to the money market instrument, it is basically like to help the development of security, you can say secondary market. So this was being established in the year 88, so that our secondary market should grow. That is why this is being introduced. Then is the development of interbank call and notice money market. So we have understood like what is the call money, what is the notice money. So the call money and notice money market is basically an interbank market in the world, and therefore the Narasimhan Committee has recommended that we should adopt it in India. Earlier it wasn't there. After the Narasimhan Committee give the recommendation, it was being introduced. So RBI have taken into this consideration. Now as per the recommendation, there is also, you can say, call money as well as the money market, notice money market that is being operating in the money market. Then is the regulation of the non-banking financial companies. See, RBI as well is the main sector which is being regulated is the banking sector, but RBI was amended in 97 to provide a regulation to the non-banking financial sector because of the various scams which are being coming into existence. So there were various regulations which are being given by the RBI to how to regulate these non-banking financial companies. Then is the Clearing Corporation of India Limited, which was being introduced in 2001 under the Act 1956 of the Company Act. With the main promoter in this case was SBI. So here it come into existence so that all the transactions, the government securities and repos are reported in the negotiated dealing system of RBI, so that all the regulation, all the securities and all the transactions which are taking place either of the government securities or so, that should be being under the control of the RBI. So this is how these are the various regulations that are being introduced by the money market, so that the money market is being regulated one. Okay. So now we will start with our third unit. Give me a second, I'll share the screen. So what is a capital market? As we told, in the money market, the amount is being raised for anything that is less than 1 year is come into the, you can say, the scope of the money market. But what is a capital market? It is the market for medium as well as, you can say, the long-term fund. So various types of facilities or arrangements are being provided for the borrowing and the long-term funds. So what is the demand for the long-term money? See, whenever we say, okay, our growth is there, industry is there, agriculture sector, government sector, everyone require funds. So, and whenever being a new establishment is being there, so we require a lot of funds that comes under the heading of the capital market. So these funds are being generated from these capital market instruments only. Okay, कैपिटल मार्केट से ही वो पैसा आता है ना. अगर आपको कोई मार्केट नया बिजनेस लगाना है, इंडस्ट्री की डेवलपमेंट देखनी है, so this is from where the you can say the industry can have the funds. And then coming on to the, you can say, the government sector. See, the government invest a lot of funds in the various types of infrastructure facilities like road, transport. So they require funds. So from where they will have those funds? They will generate the funds from the capital markets only. So whenever you can say the capital market, it provides the loans for the long term as well as for the medium term. So whatever funds are being, you can say, are being there for the long term as well as for the medium term. So medium, you can say it is basically providing as, or it is bridging out the gap between the surplus money and the deficit money. The person who have their surplus money in the long term is giving a loan to the person who required those funds. So it is basically bridging the gap of the two. So what is the, you can say, definition? So capital market can be defined as a mechanism which channelize savings into investment. Obviously, whatsoever savings are being established are being channelized and it is converted into the investment, so that it can generate income for you. Then capital market allocate the resources among the alternative uses. Like everything has a 1 to 2, or you can say more than one use. Okay, so you find out which is the best, which will be the most efficient way to invest money. Okay, so it intimidates the flow of savings of those who have save a part of their income from those who want to invest in productive asset. So what does it mean? Like it basically, you can say, it acts as a link between the saving of those, like a person, even if it is a small investor, okay, so he have that money with that, then they provide you the opportunities in the market so that you can invest those savings so that it can generate income to you and it will become profitable, or you can say the money requirement is being met for the person who required those. So it acts as a link between the two. So whenever you can say capital market, it is a, you can say, have the features of both, you can equity and the debt instrument, both are used within. Okay, so the capital market, what are the various instrument, if you can say, like stock is being used, bonds are being used for the medium as well as for the short term. So it helps you to channelize the surplus funds from the savers and invest those funds for the productive uses. So this is the, you can say, the prime role of this market, to make investment from the persons who have those surplus money. Okay, so this is the capital money. So what are the various instruments we will discuss? Okay, now coming on to the, what is the significance of capital market? I mean, why it is being very important? So whenever you can say a capital market is very, very important, as I say, okay, because we require a lot of funds. It is being required by the economy, it is being required by the industry, it is being required by the government sector, then various types of agriculture sector. Whatsoever needs of the money is being there, it is being met by the capital market. So adequate capital formation is very important whenever we have to look into the economic development, because if you find out anything, okay, earlier the economic growth was very low. Now after the, you can say, 90s scenario, whenever these regulations are being liberalized, what happened? The industrial growth has increased. So obviously, whenever your industry is growing, what will be there? There will be more employment, more productive uses of your money which is being lying with you. Then obviously you will have the interest of those. So what is the importance of this economic market? The first that is there is the mobilization of saving. Mobilization of saving means, like whatsoever funds which are being, you can say, is funds are being available with the person who don't who have those surplus funds. So it will help to mobilize those savings through various instruments, like it is being channelized into how, like by making various available various types of financial assets, the capital market encourages the savings. like it provides liquidity to the financial asset through secondary market, capital market instruments. So capital market mobilize those savings and make them available for the person who require them. So the one who require those money is being provided with that amount. Okay, abhi aapki saving hai wo aapke paas rahegi, that is not fruitful. What will happen? It will not give you any productive. Now if you are giving your money, investing your money in the capital market instrument, so suppose I need it, so it will be more, it will be beneficial for me also as well as for you, because you are gaining an interest on it, and I am obviously my financial requirement is being met. So that is how the mobilization of saving help in the economic development. Then is channelization of the funds into the investment. So channelizing the funds in investment means that the capital market plays a very important role in this by channelizing the funds in accordance with the development priorities. Like whatever your development priorities are there, you want funds for okay, you prioritize the things. मुझे इसके लिए इतना पैसा चाहिए, मुझे fixed asset के लिए इतना चाहिए, उसके बाद इतना चाहिए. So you prioritize the thing and you channelize those funds into investment. Like you make those funds available with you, and then you invest it in the best possible manner so that it will be gain more and more interest to you. Then come the industrial development. Like the main feature of the capital market, you can say it contribute to the industrial development. How? Like it is not only whenever you are, you can say you are into the industry, you require funds only and only for setting up of a new industry. No, you require for funds for modernization, expansion, everything. I mean, if you plan of, okay, I have to grab some opportunity, I have to expand my project, so you require capital. So the capital market is basically influence the industrial development of any. Okay, it is, you can say whenever we want our industry should grow, so then we have to find out that our capital market should be well established, and it should be something which will provide the money as and when required. So as you can say it, as I told you, that you require funds for the various type of diversified purposes, then it provides adequate, cheap and diversified finance to the industrial sector. Like the funds, whenever you have a lot of sources with you, then obviously it become less costly to have those funds. If you have a limited source of supply with you, then it become more and more costly. So as in the case of this, whenever there are more type of industry, you can say equipments are being available with the capital market, so your money will be, you can generate the money from the market at a very reasonable prices. So it provides, you can say, a variety of services to entrepreneurs, such as providing them with the underwriting facility, participation in equity capital. So you can have the money from wherever source, whichever you feel is okay with you, whichever you feel is the one which is giving you the best possible interest. Okay, you can have those money from there. Then is the modernization and rehabilitation of industry. As I told you, it is not only that we require funds only and only for establishing a new plant. No, we require to modernize the things. Okay, the technology is keeping at such a pace. I mean, it is changing at such a pace that you have to keep a check with that, and you have to follow that technology. Okay, this is not something ki abhi aaj ke time mein sabhi capital intensive mein, then you can't think of, okay, let go for the machine in that labor intensive industry. No, you can't think of it. So you need to check the technology according to the time which are being there. Then you need to modernize, and rehabilitation of industry should be there. So there are various types of institution which are being there, like IFC, ICICI, IDBI. So these help the industry. They are being established for some special purposes only, so that they provide industry with those funds which are being required for modernization, or you can say the replacement of your assets which are being obsolete. So there are various capital market you can say institutions are being there. Then come the technical assistance. Like whenever you can say an important faced by entrepreneur in developing country, the technology is not as developed as into the developed country. So you can't think of one person who can be a master of everything. No, you can't think of. So what option he have? So he have an option of, okay, I can have the services of various persons with the help of these instruments. Okay, like underwriting facilities being there, then you can go and have those facilities with you. Okay, Then is encourage investors to invest in the industrial securities. So secondary market in securities encourage investor to invest in the industrial securities by making them liquid. Okay, it provides facilities you can for continuous or ready use by the buying and selling of securities. So whenever you feel like, you can go and purchase the securities, and according to your comfort you can resell them. So reliable guide to the performance. Like if whenever we want to see into, okay, our country economic development, we find out like how the capital market of that country is being there. So the capital market, you can say, act as a performance guide for you. It provides how, because if your capital market is being developed, it provides you various funds which are being available to you for your industrial growth, agriculture growth, and these are being available for the various types of financial requirement. So that is how it has a very important role in the, you can say, economic development. Then come the components of the capital market. We basically categorize the capital market into two parts. The first one is the primary market and the second one is the secondary market. So primary market, you can say the securities which are being in the market for the very first time. Okay, so these are the first time purchase. You are going to purchase it for the very first time. So these are the securities, you can say as the new securities. These are also known as the new securities in the market. For transaction that take place in the market, there are three entities involved. Okay, like what are the three entities which are being involved whenever there is a trading? The first one is the company, then is the investor, and the third one is the underwriter. Okay, so what is, you can say, a company basically issue a security in primary market, also known as, you can say, IPO and sale. What will happen, like we require, okay, IPO का तो सभी को पता है कि हाँ इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग आई है, तो फर्स्ट टाइम में सेल आया, अभी जोमेटो का आया था उससे पहले। तो अभी कैसे ये IPO ऑफरिंग आती है, तो उसमें एक ऑप्शन रहता है, हम अंडर राइटर फैसिलिटी रहते हैं, उसमें क्या रहता है, एंड अंडर राइटर आपको क्या फैसिलिटी देता है, इट मॉनिटर द न्यू इश्यू ऑफरिंग एंड इन्वेस्टर परचेज द न्यूली इशूड सिक्योरिटीज इन द प्राइमरी मार्केट, सच मार्केट विच इज बीइंग रेगुलेटेड बाय द RBI। ठीक है, वो परचेज कर लेता है उन शेयर्स को जो न्यूली इशू किया जाता है प्राइमरी मार्केट में। ओके, सो दिस इज द प्राइमरी मार्केट functions. Now, what are the, you can say, the various functions of the primary market? The first one is a new issue offer. So new issue offer matlab how you can basically float the market. The first is the primary market offers a new share which had not been traded in any other exchange earlier। ठीक है, so इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, न्यू इशू मार्केट। ठीक है, अभी कैसे रहेगा, फाइनेंशियल अरेंजमेंट रहती है, पर्पस इंक्लूड कंसिडरेशन, प्रमोटर, लिक्विडिटी रेशो, डेट इक्विटी रेशो, उनके बेसिस पे हम लोग न्यू इशू ऑफर्स आती हैं मार्केट में। ठीक है, जब आपका किसी कंपनी का शेयर फर्स्ट टाइम मार्केट में आता है। देन इज द अंडरराइटिंग सर्विसेज। अभी मैंने अंडरराइटर बताया, तो अंडरराइटिंग सर्विसेज क्या रहती हैं, लाइक एन अंडरराइटर का रोल क्या रहता है मार्केट में, वो क्या करता है, कितने भी शेयर, ठीक है, वो एक फैसिलिटी देता है एक इंस्टीट्यूशन के, ओके आई विल अंडरराइट योर शेयर, दैट मींस इवन इफ योर शेयर्स आर अनसोल्ड इन द मार्केट, ही विल परचेज ऑल दो शेयर्स व्हिच आर बीइंग अनसोल्ड एंड ही विल रीसेल देम एट द टाइम, जब वहां पे डिमांड रहेगी वो अपने आप बेच देगा। तो आपके पास ये टेंशन नहीं रहती कि मेरे शेयर अगर नहीं बिके मार्केट में तो मेरा क्या होगा। ठीक है, सो अंडरराइटर इज द वन हु टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल दोस थिंग्स। Then is the distribution of new share, like a new share is being distributed in the primary market with the help of, you can say, the new prospectus issue करते हैं, तो वैसे अभी प्राइमरी मार्केट मैंने बोला जब हमारे शेयर्स मार्केट में फर्स्ट टाइम आते हैं, तो अब हम मार्केट में फर्स्ट टाइम शेयर्स कैसे कैसे लाके आ सकते हैं। The first one is the public issue. So for public issues, you can say, what is a public issue? Like IPO जिसको हम बोलते हैं, that is your public issue. So these securities are basically listed in the stock exchange for trading. So that is the IPO offer. It is, you can say, a privately held company. कंपनी क्या करती है, अपने आप को पब्लिक ट्रेडेड कंपनी में कन्वर्ट करती है when its shares are offered to public through IPO। ठीक है, अभी वो क्या करती है, पहले वो लिस्टेड नहीं होती है, फिर अभी क्या करती है, पहले उसके पास प्राइवेट शेयर है, तो वो फ्लोट करेगी, तो क्या अभी आप परचेज कर सकते हो, तो दैट इज द IPO offer that is there। So the IPO is basically, you can say, regulated by the SEBI, Why? Because the shares are being listed in the stock market. तो IPO का जितना भी वो रहता है सेबी के थ्रू रेगुलेटेड रहता है. Then come the private placement. What is a private placement? Means when a company offers its security to a small group of investor. अभी IPO में क्या रहता है, आप एक ओपन फ्लोटमेंट करते हो कि हाँ कोई भी वो शेयर परचेज सकता है. बट प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट में आप क्या रहते हैं, जो आपकी सिक्योरिटीज रहती हैं, स्टॉक्स रहते हैं, तो आप क्या करते हो, वो आप प्राइवेटली प्लेस्ड करते हो. दैट मीन्स ए सिलेक्टेड ग्रुप ऑफ अ पर्सन. ओके, अभी ये हम इसलिए करते हैं, कैसे कई बार क्या रहता है कि हाँ ठीक है स्पेशल सेक्शन है, इसी को हमें ये शेयर्स फ्लोट करने हैं. सो दैट इज नोन एज द प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट. इसमें क्या रहता है बेटा, आपकी कॉस्ट कम रहती है. जो आईपीओ में रहता है बहुत कॉस्टली रहता है. ठीक है, सो I have given example like the company may place the issuance to an investment bank or hedge fund or place before ultra hedge यू कैन से हाई नेट वर्थ इंडिविजुअल टू रेज द कैपिटल. तो वो क्या रहता है, एक सिलेक्टेड ग्रुप रहता है कि ठीक है मुझे ये प्राइवेटली प्लेस करना है, मुझे इन्हीं को देना है. ओके, सो दैट इज द प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट. देन कम द प्रेफरेंशियल इशू. सो द प्रेफरेंशियल इशू जैसे हम रहते हैं ना प्रेफरेंशियल शेयर्स, सो दैट इज द प्रेफरेंशियल इशू. इन व्हाट इज दिस, लाइक here you are given like both listed and unlisted company can issue share, ठीक है, to a selected group of investment. बट प्रेफरेंस शेयर में बेटा आपका एक फायदा रहता है, यू आर ओनली गिवन अ प्रेफरेंस एट द टाइम ऑफ डिविडेंड, बट यू आर नॉट प्रोवाइडेड विद एनीथिंग दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द ओनरशिप ऑफ द कंपनी. तो प्रेफरेंशियल शेयर के टाइम पे इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स वालों को होता है कि ठीक है सिर्फ शेयर्स दिए हैं, इनको डिविडेंड मिलेगा, बट दे आर नॉट प्रोवाइडेड विद एनीथिंग दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द कंट्रोल ऑफ द कंपनी. तो कभी भी कंपनी को चाहिए कि हमें कंट्रोल बाहर नहीं करना है, अपने पास ही रखना है, तो वो प्रेफरेंशियल शेयर्स के लिए भी फ्लोट करती है मार्केट में. देन इज द क्वालिफाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल प्लेसमेंट. सो द क्वालिफाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल, ये भी एक तरह से बेटा प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट रहती है. इसमें क्या रहता है, कंपनी किसको शेयर करती है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इक्विटी और यू कैन से होली कन्वर्टेबल डिवेंचर अपार्ट फ्रॉम द वारंट्स कन्वर्टेबल टू इक्विटी एंड आर परचेज बाय द क्वालिफाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल बायर्स. ठीक है, वो क्यों परचेज करते हैं, बिकॉज वो क्या करते हैं बेटा, अगर कोई कंपनी स्पेसिफिकली अगर किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन को वो करती है, जैसे फ्यूचर फंड्स को इंश्योरर्स को दे दिया, सो दोस कम्स अंडर द क्वालिफाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल प्लेसमेंट. ठीक है, एक पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर है कि हाँ हमें अपने शेयर्स इन्हीं को प्रेफरेंसली देने हैं, सो दैट इज नोन एज द क्वालिफाइड इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टमेंट. Then the next one that is there is the right and bonus issue. What is the right and the bonus issue means, like in the primary market right and bonus issue में क्या है बेटा, by you can say in the company which issue security to the existing investor by offering them to purchase more securities at a predetermined price. ठीक है, तो अभी उनको क्या रहता है, एक प्रीडिटरमाइंड रेट पे हम वो शेयर्स आपको एलोकेट कर रहे हैं. सो फॉर राइट इशू इन्वेस्टर रिटेन द चॉइस ऑफ बाइंग स्टॉक एट अ डिस्काउंटेड प्राइस विद इन अ स्टिपुलेटेड पीरियड. ठीक है, कि इतने टाइम के लिए ये शेयर्स हम इतने अमाउंट पे फ्लोट कर रहे हैं, सो दैट इज नोन एज द राइट इशू. ओके, देन राइट इशू और यू कैन से द बोनस इशू. बोनस इशू का क्या रहता है, आपके पास जो एग्जिस्टिंग शेयर होल्डर हैं, आप क्या करते हो, वो शेयर्स जो आपके पास एग्जिस्टिंग में है, एग्जिस्टिंग शेयर होल्डर, आप उनको एज अ बोनस वो शेयर इशू कर देते हो. सो दैट इज नोन एज द bonus issue. So these are the various types of you can say the primary market operation जिसके थ्रू हम शेयर्स को फ्लोट कर सकते हैं. Then come the secondary market. One is the primary and the second one is the secondary. Secondary platform is like where the share of the company are trading among investors. ठीक है, अभी कैसे वो शेयर्स ऑलरेडी बेटा मार्केट में थे, आप उसको दोबारा से सिर्फ ट्रेड इन कर रहे हो. लाइक अगर आज के टाइम में आप जाओ बेटा, कोई भी शेयर है, एशियन पेंट ले लो, रिलायंस ले लो, कोई भी शेयर जो ऑलरेडी मार्केट में है, अगर आप स्टॉक एक्सचेंज उसको परचेज एंड सेल करते हो, तो दैट इज बेसिकली दैट यू आर डीलिंग विद द सेकेंडरी मार्केट. ठीक है, अभी उसमें क्या रहता है, इन्वेस्टर कैन फ्रीली बाय एंड सेल शेयर विदाउट द इंटरवेंशन ऑफ इशूइंग कंपनी. कंपनी ने एक बार इशू कर दी है, उसके बाद कंपनी का कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है, आपको परचेज करना है, आपको सेल करना है, आप क्या करोगे, किसी भी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के थ्रू आप ये फ्लोट मार्केट में ऑपरेट कर सकते हो. सो दैट इज नोन एज द सेकेंडरी मार्केट. Like what is you can say the history of a stock exchange. although I have given you the full description, I'll brief you, okay, about this. Like first stock exchange market, when was it was being started in 1875 at it in Bombay, and it is, you can say, the oldest in Asia. The Bombay Stock Exchange is oldest, and then come the Ahmedabad Stock Exchange. Why it comes into this? So that to enhance the, you can say, the shares of the textile mills. ठीक है, उसके बाद आई थी बेटा Calcutta Stock Exchange. At present, there are 24 stock exchange in the country, and 21 of them are other regional ones. ठीक है, अभी क्या है, New York Stock Exchange, over the counter exchange. So these are the various types of the exchanges that are being, ठीक है. अभी ये दोनों जो मैंने जिनका नाम बताया, न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज और ओवर द काउंटर एक्सचेंज, ये कब आई थी? जब रिफॉर्म्स आए थे कैपिटल मार्केट के, उस टाइम में ये दो मार्केट्स हमारे पास आई. ठीक है, सो दिस इज हाउ द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. सो व्हेनेवर एज द, you can say, the money market, it is being regulated by the RBI, but in case of the capital market, the market is being controlled, or you can being regulated by the SEBI. So the main authority that is there in the capital market who is regulating the market is the SEBI. So stock exchange, what are the various functions of a secondary market? A stock exchange provide a platform to investor to enter into trading transaction of bond, share, debentures, and other financial instrument. Like you have a variety of instrument, you can find out the availability and you can check out like which is suitable to you, and accordingly you can invest your money. So that is the, and provide investors of various platforms according to their suitability. Then transactions can be entered into at any time, and the market, see, there is no fixed time, okay, what at what time you can have a purchase and a sale. That depends totally on you. You can purchase according to your comfort whenever you feel like, okay, I have to purchase, and there is no fixed limit, okay, one share, two shares, that depends entirely upon you. Then investor provide a proper platform such as organized exchange to liquidate the holdings. Okay, so you have to deal in the capital market instrument, you can go and have those from the various stock exchanges. Then a secondary market act as a medium of determining the prices of assets in a transaction consistent with the demand and supply. So the, you can say, the guiding factor for anything that is related to the price is the demand and supply. So demand and supply is being, you can say, the act as a fixation of, for the fixation of the price, they act as a medium. Then it is indicative of national economy as well as serves as a link between a saving and investment. Same way, it is also providing you the various opportunities of like how you can invest, because you have a various types of instrument where you can invest your money, and then the being your savings are being regulated in the capital market so that it can generate income for you. Then there is online trading in the stock exchange. It requires various types of the, you can say, the steps which are being there. The first one is a selection of a broker. So whenever you are there in the market, okay, you want to purchase and the sale of the security. So what the buying and selling can be done through SEBI, like who are the members of the stock exchange. So the brokers are basically, you can say, individual or corporate bodies. So the first step here is you select the broker through which you are going to regulate. Then you open a demat account with the depository. So the demat account, what is a demat account? What is a demat account, beta?
शेअर्स आपल्याला जर खरेदी करायची असेल तर आपण डिमॅट अकाउंटवरून खरेदी करू शकतो.
See, to trade the, for the trading of the shares in the electronic form, you require a demat account. So it is mandatory to have a demat account if you want to deal into the capital market. So these securities are basically held in the electronic form by depository, and depository is basically, you can say, an institution who hold the securities for you. At present, there are two depository, NSDL and the CDSL. So there is no direct contract between, you can say, depository and the investor. So what happened? Depository interacts with the investor through depository participants only. There are various participants which are there. They participate in the market, and you you deal with them. Okay, then is the placing the order. After you have opened your account with the demat, then investor can place the order. Like if you have to purchase or you have to sell, then you fix the limit. Like okay, I place an order, okay, I want to purchase 1,000 share of this company at this price, so you fix the amount and then you place the order. So this is the way you place the order. Then is like you can execute the order. Whenever you are giving the instruction to the investor, the broker execute your order. Like you buy or you want to sell the security, so broker basically prepare a contract note for the order executed, like how much share you wanted, what were the deal, and what is the commission being charged, what is a brokerage. So these are the things which are being there. Then come the stage of the settlement. That means when actual transfer is being there of the security. So this is the last stage when you the everything is being done, sale or purchase, whatsoever is required is being done, and at that the end the settlement is being there. So the settlement may be of the on the spot settlement. That means all the things are being settled immediately. So on the spot basically follows like T+2, like basically after trading 2 days are being given. Like if the trading is being there on a any weekday, 2 days after that are being given. Then is the forward settlement. Here the transaction is not taking on the spot. Here what will happen, a future date is being established, like after 5 days, after 7 days, after 10 days. So that is, you can say, the forward settlement. So this is the way the capital market basically works. Now you have to find out what are the various capital market instruments. What are the various capital market instruments? The first one that is there is the equity shares. What is the equity shares? What is the equity share? अच्छा, दो तरह के शेयर होते हैं. एक होता है बेटा इक्विटी शेयर, एक होता है आपका प्रेफरेंस शेयर. क्या रहता है इक्विटी शेयर, क्या रहता है बेटा? See, equity share, whenever there is a name given to the share, that is the equity share, means they are basically the owners of your company. Okay. So the owners of the company, the shares which they hold are known as the equity shares. Okay, they buy because they are the one who have the voting right. So whenever equity shares are there, they are being there and they are being provided with the voting right. So they are the owners who have the control over the management of the company. So equity share represent the ownership of a company, and the capital whichever is raised by these shares is known as the owners fund. Whatsoever funds are being raised from this is known as the owners fund. So equity shares are very less floated in the market. I mean, you can say the equity share are the one which are being with the owner. So whenever they want, they can raise the funds to preferential share or another shares, but they don't go for the equity, because giving an equity share means that the person have a voting right in the company. So that is known as the equity share. So equity shareholder are paid on the basis of the earnings of the company, and they don't get any fixed dividend. As in the case of the preferential shares, what they are given a preferential dividend. But in case of equity shareholder, they are not provided with the any dividend. They are being given a right that is known as the residual owner. That means whatsoever after settling all the claim, whatever income is being there, it is being distributed between the equity shareholders. So equity shareholder, whenever somebody asks you, they have a feature of ownership and they carry the voting right. Always remember this thing. So what are, you can say, the various advantages? First, it is, you can say, it provide you equity shareholder. Obviously, they are the owners of the company, so they provide you can the foundation of any company. Okay. Then equity provides credit worthiness to the company and confidence to the prospective loan providers. So whenever we want to give funds to anything, we want to invest in any company, we find out, okay, what is the credit worthiness? So we look into like who are the promoters of the company, who are the owners of the company. So it basically give you the credit worthiness, like, okay, these are the owners of the company. If you trust them, then obviously you invest your money with them. Then investors who are willing to take bigger risk for higher return prefer equity shares. See, what is return is like who are willing to take bigger risk for higher return. Risk is there because if your business fail, you are at a loss. You will not get anything. And why higher return? If your business is into the profit, so you are the one who will get the maximum returns after everyone is being given their share, because you are the one who are being provided with the residual income. जो भी बचेगा वो आप में distribute होगा, और अगर कुछ loss हुआ then obviously you are the one who will be at the risk. So there is no burden on the company, as a payment of dividend to the equity shareholder is not compulsory. So as in the case of the preferential share, they are being provided with the dividend, they are being have a right to that. But in case of equity shareholder, they don't have any right over the dividend. So equity shareholder raise fund without creating any charge on the assets of the company. Like, you don't have a say in the assets of the company. Whatsoever is left, you are only provided with that. And obviously they have the voting rights, so that means they have a role in the management of the company. They have the say in the management. Then come the preferential shares. What are the preference shares? Preference shares are the shares which promise you with two things. First thing, they provide you a right of a fixed dividend, and whose payment take priority over that of ordinary share. And at the time of the liquidation of the company, whatever funds, when your dividend is being paid, and after that a capital is being raised with that person, तो उसमें क्या रहता है, पहले प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर को हम शेयर पे करते हैं, उसके बाद इक्विटी का हाथ आता है. एट द एंड द पर्सन हु विल गेट द मनी इज द इक्विटी. द प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर दे कैरी अ प्रेफरेंशियल राइट. ओके, सो दे आर बेसिकली, यू कैन से, एट अ सुपीरियर पोजीशन. कैसे? पहले एक तो उनको फिक्स डिविडेंड मिलता है, ठीक है, जो भी कंपनी का प्रॉफिट है. दूसरा, जब भी डिविडेंड हो गया, ठीक है, उसके बाद क्या होगा, जो भी कैपिटल है, अगर कंपनी ने क्रेडिटर्स को पे करना है, कंपनी लिक्विडेट हो रही है, तो सबको पे, क्रेडिटर्स को पे करने के बाद जो पैसा है सबसे पहले प्रेफरेंशियल शेयर होल्डर्स को दिया जाता है, उसके बाद इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर का शेयर देखा जाता है. सो उनको दो बेनिफिट होते हैं, एक तो फिक्स डिविडेंड जो उनको प्रॉफिट हुआ कंपनी में, सेकेंड जो है बेटा वो है इसका ये कैपिटल जो है जब भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होती है, पहले क्रेडिट होल्डर्स को पे करने के बाद सबसे पहले हम प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स को देते हैं, उसके बाद इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स को देते हैं. ठीक है, तो डिविडेंड जो होता है उसका फिक्स्ड होता है. अभी देखो वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ प्रेफरेंशियल शेयर होल्डर्स आती है. ठीक है, फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंशियल होल्डर आर cumulative and non-cumulative. The cumulative are like they have a right to calculate अनपेड डिविडेंड्स. ठीक है, अगर आपका किसी ईयर में प्रॉफिट नहीं हुआ, आपने उसको पे नहीं किया, तो वो क्या होगा, वो आपका एड ऑन होता जाएगा, वो क्यूमुलेट होता जाएगा. और जब भी कंपनी डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करेगी तो उनको वो वाला अमाउंट पे करना पड़ेगा जो उन्होंने पहले पे नहीं किया है. ठीक है, वो होते हैं क्यूमुलेटिव. दूसरे होते हैं नॉन क्यूमुलेटिव. उसमें क्या रहता है बेटा, जब प्रॉफिट होगा तभी आपको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होगा. अगर किसी ईयर में आपको प्रॉफिट नहीं हुआ, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं किया गया डिविडेंड, देन यू डोंट हैव एनी राइट इन द सब्सटेंशियल ईयर फॉर दैट पेंडिंग अमाउंट. सो दैट इज नोन एज द नॉन क्यूमुलेटिव. Then is the participating and the non-participating. So the participating, they have a right to participate in the extra surplus of the company share, which after dividend at a certain rate have been paid on the equity share. Like they have a participating right. Okay, non-participating में क्या रहता है, such right of participation profits में उनका कुछ भी participation का right नहीं रहता है. So that is known as the non-participating. Then is the third one, that is the convertible shares and the non-convertible. Convertible में क्या रहता है, the preference shareholders can be converted into the equity share within a specified period of a time. उसमें क्या रहता है कि अगर आपने shares float किए तो after maybe 2 years 3 years these shares will be converted into the equity. तो उसी टाइम पे क्लॉज रहता है. ठीक है, उनको हम बोलते हैं convertible preference share. नॉन कन्वर्टेबल प्रेफरेंस शेयर रहते हैं जिनको हम कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकते इक्विटी शेयर्स होल्डर्स. ओके, सो व्हाट आर यू कैन से द वेरियस मेरिट्स ऑफ अ प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स. So the merit of a preference shares mean, what are, you can say, the various advantages. The first advantage, as I told you, is like you are being given a fixed dividend at the time of the distribution of the profit. So the fixed dividend. And the second one is like you are being given a preference at the time of the payment of the liquidation. These are the two advantages. Then it doesn't affect the control of equity shareholders. As I told you, a person don't like to give the control of their company. They want to give, okay, shares will be floated, but they don't want to go for the equity share because उससे क्या होता है, उनके voting rights चले जाते हैं. Then is preference share have a readily steady income. because they are being provided with the fixed dividend. And these are basically who invest this amount in this. The person who want a fixed rate of return with low risk, because the risk is very low because you are being secured. So that is why these are the various preference shares merits over that. Then is the debentures. So the debentures, as you can say, is a debt instrument which is being there by the companies. So why it is being used? It is used to raise the loan. Whenever you want to raise a loan, तो हम क्या कहते हैं, डेट एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट रहता है. कैसे रहता है? कंपनी क्या करती है उसमें बेटा, कंपनी बोलती है कि ठीक है मुझे इतना फंड चाहिए, तो एक डिवेंचर होल्डर क्या देती है, वो इंस्ट्रूमेंट दे देती है कि ठीक है this much amount I have to pay you, and they give you a right, that is a debt over there. So you are basically the one who is being given the right. So this is the loan which is issued to the corporate based on their reputation. तो जिसके डिवेंचर्स हम किसके रहते हैं, जिसकी कंपनी की वैल्यू अच्छी रहती है बेटा, उसके हम डिवेंचर्स लेते हैं. So there are various types of the debentures like secured, unsecured, registered, convertible, non-convertible. So I'll discuss about those. So the first one is the secured debentures. Like they create a charge on the assets of the company. अगर आपने उनको पे नहीं किया तो उनके पास क्या राइट रहता है कि वो आपकी जो assets हैं उनको mortgage करके आपका पैसा ले सकते हैं. So that is known as the secured. Then is the unsecured. Like they don't have any right on your assets of the company. So they don't have any say in the, you can say, at the time of that. Okay. So then come the registered debenture holders. So the registered debenture holder, like they are the registered, they are like the being recorded as a debenture holder, they are being registered. Okay. तो उनके पास एक बेटा वो रहता है, रेगुलर इंस्ट्रूमेंट रहता है जिससे क्या है, ट्रांसफर का वो रहता है. तो इसमें क्या रहता है, अगर आपको ट्रांसफर करना है तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन पास ऑन करना रहता है. बट जो आपके बियरर होते हैं, दैट मीन्स सिर्फ आप डिलीवरी कर दो तो वो बियरर होते हैं, मतलब वो जिसके पास है वो उसका है. रजिस्टर्ड में क्या है, वो आपके नाम पे रजिस्टर्ड है. और अगर आपको वो किसी को बेटा देना है या किसी को ट्रांसफर करना है तो आपको वो डॉक्यूमेंट पूरा का पूरा उसको वो उसके नाम पे करना पड़ता है. बट बियरर में क्या रहता है, बियरर मतलब जो उसको ले रहा है, जिसके पास होता है. बियरर मीन्स द वन हु होल्ड्स दैट. सो उस केस में क्या रहता है, जिसके पास वो डिवेंचर रहता है, ही इज द वन हु इज द ओनर ऑफ दैट डिवेंचर. Then comes the convertible and the non-convertible. So the convertible debentures have the same right. तो उसमें क्या रहता है, convertible debentures can be converted into equity share after the expiry of a certain period. थोड़े टाइम के बाद उनके पास राइट रहता है कि उनको हम कन्वर्ट कर देंगे इक्विटी में. नॉन कन्वर्टेबल में ऐसा कुछ भी राइट आपके पास नहीं रहता है. Then is the first debenture holder and the second holder. So the first debenture मतलब क्या होता है, a debenture which is repaid before the other debenture is known as the first debenture. ठीक है, किसी भी डिवेंचर होल्डर का पे करने से पहले जिनको पे किया जाता है उनको प्रेफरेंस दी जाती है, उसको हम बोलते हैं फर्स्ट. ठीक है. Then is the second debenture which is paid after the first debenture. मतलब उनको तो obviously कोई right नहीं है ऐसा, तो वो बाद में पे किया जाता है. Now what are the, you can say, the various advantages as we see the, okay, these are the advantages of the equity share, then the preference share. So what are the advantage of debentures? So the debentures का क्या advantage रहता है, investor who want fixed income at less risk, they will obviously go for the debt. ठीक है. और दूसरा क्या रहता है, डिवेंचर्स के पास कभी भी बेटा वोटिंग राइट नहीं रहता है, तो आपका जो कंट्रोल है कंपनी का वो आपके पास ही रहेगा. एज आई टोल्ड यू इन द वेरी बिगिनिंग, डिवेंचर और या डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो होते हैं वो कब बहुत कॉस्टली नहीं होते, दे आर वेरी लेस कॉस्टली, बिकॉज उनको जो रहता है इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट ही आपको सिर्फ देना पड़ता है. ठीक है ना, अगर आपने किसी का डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट लिया तो उसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट पे करना है. बट इक्विटी में आपका खुद का पैसा लगता है तो वो ज्यादा कॉस्टली रहता है. तो डिवेंचर इज ऑलवेज एंड ऑलवेज लेस कॉस्टली. देन द कंपनी डज नॉट इन्वॉल्व इट्स प्रॉफिट्स इन द डिवेंचर्स. ठीक है, अभी कंपनी के पास क्या होता है, अपना प्रॉफिट अलग रहता है, डिवेंचर्स होल्डर का शेयर्स अलग रहता है. एंड द इशू ऑफ डिवेंचर इज एप्रोप्रिएट इन सिचुएशन व्हेन द सेल एंड अर्निंग आर रिलेटिवली स्टेबल. जब भी आपके पास ठीक है कि हाँ मेरे पास अर्निंग्स भी स्टेबल है, मेरी सेल्स भी स्टेबल है, तो क्या है, आप इजीली बेटा जो इंटरेस्ट है, अगर आप बाहर से फंड्स लेते हो तो आप इजीली वो क्या कर सकते हो, रीपे कर सकते हो, तो उसमें आपको टेंशन नहीं रहती है. सो दिस इज, यू कैन से द प्रेफरेंस शेयर का ये बेनिफिट, डिवेंचर होल्डर का बेटा ये बेनिफिट रहता है. ठीक है, इसके लिए उनको कुछ ऐसा टेंशन नहीं रहता है कि मुझे ये अमाउंट पे करना है, कैसे होगा, बिकॉज दे हैव द बेसिकली द advantage of this. Okay, so this is the when your sales and obviously your earnings are being stable, you don't have any pressure कि मुझे पता ही है कि हाँ मेरे पास इतना इनकम तो आएगा कि मैं इंटरेस्ट इजीली पे कर सकूं. So that is the case with the this one. Okay, I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we are left with only few of the things. Then I'll complete with this in my next lecture, and this third unit will be completed. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay then. Bye.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.